it to do that? Okay, well, it's doing it. Here we go. So we are going to write underneath 0 power fractions as exponents. When you have a fraction as an exponent, it does some crazy stuff. Bless you. And it's called a rational exponent. So if I had x to the 1/3 power, x to the 1/3 power, it turns it into a radical. Do you guys know what a radical looks like? This? That's called a radical. Okay. Now this number on the bottom goes right here. This number, if it was, since it's a 1, you just write it right here. Just make a hook on the end of your thing. If it was a 2, you'd write it on the outside. If it was a 3, you'd write it on the outside. If it was a 4, you'd write it on the outside. So and that's it.
So if it's a 1, just write it.
Yep.
What if it's like 13?
What do you mean?
Like whatever the number is, it would go on the outside.
Yes.
I was confused because you said the 1 was there was put the 1 in the 3 or.
So the number on bottom always goes in the mullet, right here. And then the 1 goes on the outside of the baseball cap. So imagine it's someone from the 80s with a mullet and their hair's flipped up, and this is their baseball hat. So the denominator goes in the mullet, the numerator goes out front of the hat.
Oh, I see it though. I see the mullet.
Okay, so let's do another one. Another one, another one, another one. Get excited.
Yay! Woohoo!
All right, so let's say a to the 4/3 power. Okay, now a, is this our base or our exponent? That's the base. So we're going to go and draw our mullet, and we're going to put a underneath. Now, where does the 3 go? Does the 3 go in the mullet or out in front of the hat? The mullet. And what number goes in front of the hat? The 4. Dun, da, da, da. You're done. That's all I want you to do. We're going to expand on this more next week, but this is all I want you to do for now.
Wait, so is it going to be like this on our test, or is it going to be like next week?
On Friday?
Friday.
If your test is Friday, why would I put the things that we're doing next
I'll
week
think
on
of
the...
that next week.
Okay. No. All right. Now, let's look at this. If I have 3 halves, where does the C go? Inside the house. And the 3 is going to go in front of the hat. But this 2, you don't have to write it. This is called a square root. And square root is a 2. This is called a cube root because it's a 3. If it was a 4, it'd be the 4th root. If it was a 5, it'd be the 5th root. So if you have a 2 on bottom, you don't have to write it. If you want to write it so that you can be used to it, you are welcome to write it, but you don't have to write it. Right here? This is a 3. Yes, Allie. Hang on, Henry. Oh, I write that as a habit. So when you're writing radicals, thank you for asking that. If I give you a problem that said 4 times the square root of x minus 3, I write this so that it shows you that radical has ended. So if you wanted to write your 1, and I should have said that in the beginning, you could write a 1 right here. But you don't have to do that. So I write this to let you know that that radical is ended, and then this minus 3 is not part of our problem, and we're moving on. Okay? What was your question, Henry?
If we put that thing in the thing on the test, that will be
The thing in the thing?
Like, we put the 2 right here.
In the mullet?
Yeah.
No, I won't count off. Anybody else have a question? Okay, can you try one without me?
Yes.
e to the 9/5.
Use O next time.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't used it like at all.
It's because it looks like a 0 and I don't like to use it.
Oh.
Wait, so the denominator always goes in the mullet?
The denominator always goes in the mullet.
Don't you always draw the line with the zeros? Make sure it doesn't always go to 0.
Yes, but not everyone does that. Do you, Ronson? Alright, can you tell me what goes inside the house?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me what goes inside the mullet? No. 5 goes in the mullet. And what goes outside? Fantastic. So you got it backwards.
Oh, shoot. I got that.
The denominator always goes in the mullet. The bottom number, oh, that's why I drew these little dots. So if you want to draw an arrow that the 5 always goes right here and the 9 always goes right here. Are you dying?
Yes,
Don't do it.
it's fun.
No.
I'll love to go.
Whoa.
Oh. Hey, bud.
Well, there's a fun fact that we didn't know about you, Adam. Fun fact.
Yeah, you can bring yourself back. I want mine to be decent spicy.
Because it's my room.
I'm not Christian.
Wait, you're not?
We don't talk about it in here.
I thought you were.
This is why we don't talk about it. Alright, so the things that we're going to remember. In this next section right here, I want you to write, remember. I'm a mathematician. So, if we have a positive number, 2 squared, can anybody tell me what that equals? 4. Look at you go, take a point. And if I have a negative number, can anybody tell me what that? Now, negative 2 squared, when it's in parentheses, what does that equal? 4. But if I plug into my calculator negative 2 squared without parentheses, that gives me negative 4. So watch your negatives. If you plug it into your calculator, you must use parentheses. Yes. I don't think so, Tater Tot. Yes.
I feel like all math teachers right there.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Wait, never mind.
Okay, Bronson.
Sorry.
I said better.
Okay, again, parentheses means that you're squaring this. Okay. Can you stop whatever it is that you're doing? Like, I don't know if you're having a heart attack over there or...
I mean, oh. You don't know what's going on with Adam? He's like frustrated and wanting to die at the same time.
This is not lying.
Life.
Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on building our study guide, and then you're going to work on it. Tomorrow we're going to have a review activity, Friday test. Aren't we excited?
That's why he wants to die.
No.
So, over here on your table of contents, underneath page 9, I want you to write page 10. And I want you to write exponent study guide.
Oh, man.
I seriously do not know that you. I thought for sure you.
It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you, so there's no reason that you should know anything about my personal life. We're in math class. We're doing math.
Yeah, but you didn't stop talking about it.
This is why. This is why.
This is why it's certain people. You shouldn't get mad at everybody for one
This is
person.
why. Write this down. Let's go. Let's go.
Are you writing?
So we are going to break our study guide up into sections, which is like our foldable. That way you can look back at your foldable and hopefully use it to figure out how to do it. Now, our learning target for our unit was to be able to identify and execute the properties of exponents. Does everybody understand? I want you to be able to do that on your study guide. So I don't have a 9D, but I can't, I kind of want it to bleed through. So I'm going to come over here and write my page 10 over here. You are welcome to do it however you want. If you want to put your page 10 on the back of your 9C, more power to you, power to the people. I know. I know.
You about to get up.
I am standing up. All right, exponent study guide. That's an apostrophe, and it's not possessive. So you only use an apostrophe when it's possessive or a contraction. But this is all exponents, not possessing. Our exponents don't possess the study guide. We do. Like, you see how I put an apostrophe on this? It's because I own this book. I appreciate that. I appreciate you checking just in case I went crazy. All right, so let's write this down. Section 1. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to write down the problems. We're going to write down all the problems at once. So I need you to keep up with me, then we'll work them out. Okay? Are we ready? Has everybody written down section 1? Are we ready to fight the power? Number 1. Number 2. What do I want to do? What? That's a 9. My Q's are curled.
Hang down the low line.
Yes. All right, number 3. Jarek, please stop dancing. Write down these problems. Do you need me to keep your phone?
Okay.
All right, that's section 1. So what are we doing in section 1? Because your learning target, your unit learning target says I can identify and execute properties of exponents. So what are we doing here? Look at you go. Take a point. Multiplying like bases. So do we think we should maybe add that besides section 1? Awesome. Can anybody tell me what we do when we multiply like bases? Add the exponents. Thank you. I will take a point.
Wait. Take a point.
Thank you.
Are we the only class you record with?
No, I record every class every day. Okay? Multiply like bases, add the exponents. Alright, I'm writing down 5. Let's go. We are not taking 75 years. We gotta go. Right, Austin? We got things to do. Places to go. People to look at you guys go. Take a point, children. It's like you've learned something. We are, as soon as we all turn in our sheets, and we still all haven't turned in our sheets, so I can't start. I don't know. I'll have to look in my grade book and see. No, I have check marks by your name if you've turned it in.
Isn't it like 4 sections?
6.
Oh, I guess.
This is the easiest one.
Do we all have down 5 and 6?
Yes.
Does anybody not have down? Okay. I'll move it up when you're done. D'Angelo, if you'll just let me know. I'm sorry? Oh, thank you.
Wait, so for dividing, what do we do on that?
You tell me. What does it say on your foldable?
Subtract.
Hey, I don't want to listen to that with you. And it's red day. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Alright, so this one is section 2 is dividing like bases. And what do you do when you divide like bases? Subtract. Yo. Oh, gracias.
She actually is taking points.
Oh. Remember last year when I would have to run around?
Yeah, it happens like every day.
Yeah, but I moved it. We're moving up in the world.
Yay, yeah, we are.
Alright, let's hustle because I'm going to put the other 3 on the back. I would be writing down what you're doing in the section as you go, just to help you study. This is not multiplying like bases. What is this? Power to a power. Take a point. And what do we do to the exponents when we have power to a power? Multiply the exponents. And what do you do to the bases? Power it. How do you power it? So that'd be like 13 to the 4th power. So 13 times 13 times 13 times 13. That's a good question. When you're done, please put your pencil down so I know who's done. Thank you, Adam, for dropping it. Really dramatically. Whoa. Whoa. Do I need to move it up, D'Angelo? Is that better? Pardon? Okay. Do you want me to zoom in?
What was section 2?
Had to use it. You have some additive.
Is that better? Section 2 is dividing like bases. You should be able to look at that and tell me.
Oh, we can finish this now?
No, we have to do section 4, 5, and 6. All right.
Should we get a grade for this?
Why would I assign you all these problems and not give you a grade? Teachers are weird, but I would not do that. I agree, Pumpkin. I agree. But here we are. Ma'am? I can't hear you. Yes, 10B. And this is section 4.
Why we flip the page?
Because I was out of room. If you're not out of room, then you're good. Alright, we ended on number 10, correct? Okay, thank you. Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh. I need to listen to that song. It's a song from the 80s. Ma'am, sir, what?
UV.
UV. Yes, so what's the exponent of U? Look at you guys go. It's like you've learned something. Are we done with 11 and 12?
Yes.
Choo. Is that good on negative exponents, or do you want one more?
That's good.
That's good? Okay. We need one more?
No, Troy, no. I need one. Get it. Well, you can put this one down. We don't.
Troy's got that extra. So 15, Troy. You might want to do it in case you need extra practice, tater tots.
She said extra practice, not points.
So we don't have to do that one.
If you feel comfortable with negative exponents, then no. All right. So what did we learn after negative exponents? Zero power. All right, so 15 for everybody else, 16 for Troy. I like that you want some extra work, Troy. It's amazing how you're working with that and making noise with it when you should be writing down 15 problems. And you are not allowed to get it from anyone else because you've had the same opportunities as everyone else to copy it down.
Yes, no, I understand. Good.
Alert.
Make it cloud.
That's the extent of my drawing, baby. And last section. Oh.
Maybe it's under.
Yes.
That one's for you or not?
A. Will it be what?
Here, actually.
Yes, I will be.
Come here.
Yes. Alright, so to get full credit, you need to identify what what each section is and what you're doing in each section and work it out. Does everybody understand? Alright, start working.